What up, everyone? Welcome to the Brunch Gimmick. I am Laurence Cartier. This week, you could feel it. You could feel the handsome levels go up. It's like a shift in the atmosphere. It's like you have to calculate the wind chill. Now we have to calculate the handsome factor. Blair Pacheco joining me this week. Blair, how are you doing?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Just vibe, and figured it's been a while. Not just a great Stain song, but it's exactly what's been here. It's been a while since I've been on. I thought I'd join you for an episode and we could talk some wrestling.
Yeah, how was your weekend so far?
It was okay. I mean, we got a huge dump of snow on like Thursday night, Friday, so everything was melted, and then we got a foot of snow.
Yeah,
had to work some overtime yesterday, and then now just kind of relaxing. Gonna take it easy.
It's like the point of the year. I like to think winter is like a horror movie villain, where like you think you've killed it, yes, but then they just come back in angrier than ever. Like right now outside, we're getting a stupid amount of freezing rain, and just like these sidewalks are a nightmare. I went for like a walk to the new thrift store, and I saw this buddy right behind me that I picked up.
Hell yeah, that is a good purchase.
Yeah, bought that thrift store about a couple hours ago, and then grabbed some lunch on my home. But oh man, it sucks out there. It sucks so hard.
Yeah, no, it started Friday. You could already tell it was starting to melt a little bit, and it's been okay yesterday, but I'm done with the snow. I'm done with cold. I need summer. I need to wear my crop tops, my short shorts. I need to just be out there enjoying the nice weather.
Yeah, Sandy, it was like that a week ago for us, but that is the moment in a horror movie where you think you've killed the villain, and they just come back with a vengeance.
Ghostface.
We get exactly. We get at least one or two fake springs a year. We're we're finally out of it. This is so nice.
It's a guarantee that you think you're past it.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, a guy in a scream mask is staring at you and you're nowhere to run, and you're like, oh man. So
we got Mike in the chat, by the way. Happy birthday, Mike. Yesterday it was Mike's birthday.
Happy birthday, Mike.
I said we're going to talk about C4 in a second. I got to surprise Mike at C4 on Friday. Literally that trip. So I guess we could start talking about that trip. I was Friday pretty early in the morning, 11 a.m. and I realized shit, I can probably get out of work early enough to get in the car with Nathan Yarimovich from IWS and his brother Zach, his twin brother Zach, who's a photographer. Which the first time you see them, it trips you out because why is Nathan doing photography around the ring? But yes, I was I met them if they were going to C4, and they were. So it was us two and Chris Dara driving up in the car, which was funny later when I was talking to Puff. But we I literally messaged him we've got space in the car. I'm just looked out of getting there right on time to make. I'm I want to go see Mike. He's there for his birthday. Fun card. We make it there. I'm there a few hours early, so I'm just hanging out there as they set up, which great atmosphere at C4. Everyone there is super, super nice. and like even like their like pre-mat, like I was listening to like their pre-show like spiel and stuff. Like it is very much like a family environment there.
Mhm.
I've noticed like a lot of people have been going to like wrestling there for a while, or like they definitely foster like a very welcoming and like family environment in C4. And like the whole card was so much fun, and like it is a running joke between C4, like everyone there, that their cards are long.
Mhm.
Like
They pack the matches.
yeah, oh yeah. Like you guys talk about it all the time
Mhm.
on thing. Like you run through their cards, but like man, the wrestling was so good. Like I'm actually wearing a shirt now, but like first time I got to see like first time I've heard him, got to see Fancy Ryan Clancy wrestle Kevin Blackwood. That was a really fun match. Like it, the whole card was a lot of fun. Like seeing good friend of Love Wrestling and Quizplex legend Puff defend his tag team titles against the newly formed. Actually, it was like I think the first time wrestling together was at Mystery Wrestling.
Okay.
Chris Tara and Cecil Nix. I could be wrong. It could have been C4. They might have tagged together. But like they're a very fun tag team. And like I was listening to Chris Tara like on the way there, like talk about ideas they're having for the match.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, so I think all three of the guys are gonna kiss at some point. I'm just gonna watch. Are you booking a match or this for yourself, Chris Tara? Like, who wouldn't guess that out of the four people in that match, Chris Tara is the biggest pervert.
Chris Tara. Come on.
Sweetest pea. Come on now.
I'm checking out a cage match real quick just to see if I can find, without taking up too much time.
Oh no, go ahead.
But
yeah, so like I was talking to Puff early in the show. Like after the show, like I was talking to him, and like it was like a bittersweet moment of Puff losing the titles, but Chris Starr winning it. And like I was talking like, yeah, I was definitely supporting you, but ignore the fact that I'm about to walk into a car with this person holding your tag team titles. Yeah.
They did team together earlier at C4 back in January.
Yeah.
So I think that's the one time.
Yeah. They brought in Drea Mitchell and Leah Sparks, who absolutely killed. Like again, like you just interviewed like Drea Mitchell.
Yeah. You know how you can kind of tell, like when somebody just has it. Yeah. And you just know that it's only a matter of time before they're getting, those bookings across Canada and dipping down more into the States. And Drea Mitchell is that wrestler. It's only a matter of time before she's wrestling all throughout Canada. If she is on a show in your hometown, it is worth paying to go check out one of her matches. That's how good she is.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Like little things like how she interacts with the crowd on her way to the ring. Just like somebody who's been doing it like years longer than her. It's like it's the same sort of thing. Like she's got like that natural ability that like some people can either pick up or they can't. And it's like she picked it up so quick and just like so natural doing it. And like is somebody who like is pretty much like right off the bat has already figured out the character, what they want to do in the ring. And you add on top that there's a straight up powerhouse who like can show off athletically in the ring and just like strong as all hell. Like it is coming together. Like Drea Mitchell is going to be one of those people that's going to be back. And same like Leah Sparks too, who like I can tell you watching her at like the merch table after the show and like what she can do in the ring. Like she's obviously like a very, very athletic and like comes from like does gymnastics and like other stuff outside of it, like incredibly athletic Leah Sparks, but also like connects with the kids like no one else. Like she was signing autographs for kids for a little bit afterwards. and like very, very like her character fits in perfectly with that. And like, man, like they both of them have something special there that it's like, again, only a matter of time, and get like seeing them show up on this card and put on a great match too was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like that, C4 they do, they just did the all women show like 3 weeks ago, I think, so they're doing some great stuff out in Ottawa, and like it's just really great for wrestling seeing what they're doing. The shows go up on no, it's not Triller, IWTV, I think,
IWTV,
like
on Tuesday,
week after or a few days after they air. So it's you may not get to watch it live, but they're very fast with getting the shows up, and the shows always deliver. Like, I don't think I've ever heard anyone complain about a C4 show. So that says something.
They're one of those that like have the luxury, and same thing with like IWS, of just having a great group of local talent from both Quebec and Ottawa. It's also like a lot of the same people wrestle in IWS too, but like they have that great core group and they make a concerted effort to bring in like incredibly talented people from the States, from everywhere. Like Marcus Mathers, who was also at IWS, was at this card and had like one of the matches of the night was the 10-man tag, which you put TDT in a chaotic scenario and it's them absolutely thriving. But it was like Jesse V was the MVP of that match. We were talking afterwards, like, who, like, if you haven't seen Jesse V, that dude is strong as all hell. And him one arm power bombing the entire other team just one by one at one point, like including Vanessa Craven, who is not a small person, like picking her up with one arm and one arm power bomb. Like, hey, dude is insane.
Yeah, dude's jacked up, and he's got the talent to back it up too. Yeah. So I think he teams with Mark Wheeler, I think, quite a bit in Ontario. I think they go by Locked and Loaded. So like, dude can do it all, like singles, tag team, very talented. And you mentioned like the Ottawa or Ontario and like Quebec and C4 also. They're fortunate with the Buffalo crew.
Yeah,
the Upper New York, that they make the trek over for a lot of those shows too. So it's a wealth of riches when you look at the talent that they're able to bring in and continue to like find the next sort of generation of wrestlers, the next wave of talented individuals that are going to make a name for themselves doing it. So an incredible group of people behind the scenes there who, find all these talents.
Yeah. Like, I would say like if you haven't experienced it yet, either check it out on IWTV or like specifically look for, I don't think very few promotions have somebody as over as Puff is in C4. Like the reaction to him, that dude also afterwards was like selling merch like crazy. There happened to be like a bachelorette party there, and he sold a crazy amount of "But Daddy, I Love Him" t-shirts that were like in white and pink. To the entire bachelorette party bought one.
Perfect.
They're like, Puff also has great merch.
They're going to go home and their partner is going to be like, what did you do tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, we went to watch a wrestling show. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well then. What was your match of the night, or any moments that really stood out to you from that C4 show?
I would say like I really enjoyed the match, the tag match with Double Dragon, which was pretty Ricky and Puff and Chris Dara and Cecil Nix. I quite enjoyed that 10-man tag I was just talking about, which was absolutely crazy, just like jam-packed full of talented people. The main event was crazy too. You had McRae Martin versus Evil Uno for the C4 championship. For people who don't know, McRae, who's been on the channel before, incredibly talented and one of Evil Uno's former students at the Keep, wrestling Evil Uno, who, if you haven't seen C4 Evil Uno, he's definitely leaning on the evil part. So he is doing straight up murder. This is the second month in a row he's just murdered, or second show in a row he just murdered one of his students, because those matches are brutal. Like, both of them ended up bleeding. There were thumbtacks, referees thrown through doors. Also, one of my favorite things, which is like, man, this really is like a local show full of like fans been there. Anytime a door gets pulled out, the crowd starts chanting the local hardware store, Preston Hardware, Preston Hardware. Anytime a door gets pulled out.
Yo, they're shopping local, they're
Yeah.
supporting local businesses. What more could you ask for? I mean, great job, C4. Great
Yeah,
job.
and also wearing the fancy Ryan Clancy shirt, but Blackwood versus Clancy, very good. Like there were so many very very good matches on that card. Like it, like everyone showed out. Like it was all a lot of fun.
Did they announce their next show?
They announced when it was, and one of the matches that was supposed to happen right before I mentioned, there were shenanigans that happened. Where what's funny is I was there early and got to. I'm like, why is Stu Grayson talking to the event staff this long and being this animated and explaining stuff? It's because they basically murdered the entire event staff, like all the local wrestlers who come in to run security and stuff, and to like get people out of the way when they're about to do dives. Yeah, they like even Ono comes out to his match and gets hit in the back with a chair by his opponent while he's walking like in the entrance, doing his entrance, and then all hell breaks loose. They just start beating each other. The match basically gets thrown out, and they legitimately that one they throw event staff through doors too. Two of them get thrown through doors. They got dived on. They got slammed everywhere as they're trying to get to each other. But they announced that next month it will be Stu Grayson. Oh, I forget the other guy's name off the top of my head. If Mike can just update me. I'm assuming that's Spencer. How are you doing, Spencer? I think it's actually I'm on the C4 thing right now. Sheldon Jean.
Oh,
Sheldon yeah. In a last man standing match.
Nice.
Is going to be the match next month or in April. Yes, April 27th, I believe.
And Sheldon
25th.
He's been really kind of making a name for himself the last little bit too. So I mean, I think he showed up on the Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling show not too long ago. So he's really getting out there. Yeah,
and like if you haven't seen Stu Grayson live, that man is bigger than you think and way more jacked than you even imagine. That dude is just built to all hell.
Jacked. Nice. Sweet, that's gonna be a good show. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and also we had our friends talking about it. Wait, do I have the? Oh, I have it here. Haha. Our friends in Dynasty. Diamonds up, baby. Diamonds up.
Mikey Truth, Jackson Roy.
Yeah, they were in the pre-show against Project 8100 in a very fun match.
Nice.
That was always great seeing them. Absolute delights. Like again, people from Ontario who are absolutely killing from the Toronto. Like they've also been like I was talking to them after the show, and like they've been focusing more like the last little bit on getting their name more in Toronto because they've been working a little outside of Toronto more, and like now they also want to go back to Montreal soon. They have plans to do that, but like they're a team that should be everywhere. Like if you're honestly, they haven't been like they started like during the pandemic. Where it was like harder to get anything done. So like the fact they're this good, this quick, and their chemistry is amazing. I always like this is a dynasty household forever. I don't care. Like this is the flag we salute to in this house.
I was like, I want to see dynasty across Canada, you know? Like,
yeah, 100%.
Maybe I need to see them against like the Short Kings and LPW, you know, or maybe see them versus Reloaded out in BC, you know, like I want to see them everywhere. So I'm just planting those seeds now in hopes that they one day come true, you know. So
I have been more like felt like IWS recently. I've been more than planting seeds. I'm starting to progressively yell at poor Andrew Stott more and more on Twitter to the point where he's eventually going to yell at me. But yeah, like I would very much like to see somebody who had a heavy load this past weekend, pulling double duty at LPW. When I was like talking to Christar at the show, I'm like, man, she's got to also do the Femme Fatale show on Saturday. She's flying from Edmonton, like crazy schedule.
Yeah, that's nuts. And I believe that the Short Kings are okay. I think, like brothers fight.
Yeah.
They're just having a little disagreement. They'll be okay. They'll patch things up. And
Yeah.
I believe in the Short Kings. So, just saying. But that is the ending to the LPW show. I mean, was absolutely incredible. Like I feel for TY. I feel for TY. He just seems like he's constantly getting screwed over. It's sad. It's sad, but there's always the new LPW Grand Champion.
Yeah.
So maybe won by some slightly nefarious means.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, pulled double duty, and then flew out to Quebec for the last Femme Fatale show, which happened yesterday, which looked like a great card. I wanted to go to that so badly. Like, I legitimately it didn't hit me at first. Like, I woke up fairly early, even though I got home 3-4 a.m. from the drive home, because I of course am with Nathan, who is working ring crew, so has to help tear down the ring and help tear stuff down. So I am there way before and way after everyone has left. So we didn't leave till actually it wasn't so bad because the show ended. Everyone was so stoked that the show ended a little earlier. I think partially also because there was a triple threat match, which for whatever reason didn't happen, and they rescheduled to the next show. But it did end a little earlier. So I think we were at the McDonald's by 12:30. And on our way home by a little before 1. So I got home. Yeah, I probably got home by 3, a little after 3:30, or around 3:30 in the morning.
So what is a 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive?
Yeah, about a little over 2 hours.
Okay,
depending.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, it really isn't too bad. Considering I did the 7-hour drive to Crossbody this time last year.
Yeah, that's
Cambridge, Ontario.
A stretch.
Yeah.
When you did that, did you at least stay the night, or did you?
No, we were right back. It was rough.
Yeah, that's not fun.
It was also fair enough. Alex Mays and Nathan were switching off driving duty. So on the way back, they, to help them stay up, were blasting music. So there was, even though I'm in the back seat trying to get a little bit of sleep, there was no getting any sleep there, because they were doing karaoke to stay up and stay animated throughout the drive back, because that was a long, it was faster drive back because obviously the streets are empty by that point. But still pretty much I think we got home at 4 a.m. We the show ended earlier, but yeah, I think we got home from that one 4 a.m. something like that. Yeah, we were there and back.
I can't just.
My legs were killing me on the way. When I got out on the way there, my legs were just fried by the time I got out of that car. You took a little break for food and coffee and stuff halfway through, but we pretty much did that as quickly as possible. But man, that 7 hours, you feel it,
dude. Even on Friday for 5 hours straight, I was clearing snow with very minimal stretching, and your foot is tired from it's sore from always having to be pressing down on the accelerator, and it's man, this is rough. So it's just, I feel that pain,
So how was the LPW show? I didn't get to check that out.
I got to see the ending.
Before. Yeah.
I also know that there are new tag team champions as well.
Paralira.
Yeah, Paralira.
Pluggo's favorites.
Yeah, Sheik Shabazz and Behrad Garani.
Yeah.
Congrats to them. There's also a new LPW Scramble champion. Casey Ferreira's new champ. So I mean, some gold changing hands.
Times there are changing in
they
LPW.
Are. And you're seeing some new talent showing up. So it's nice. It's a hungry group. They're showing up. They're challenging for those titles. They're trying to make a name for themselves, and I'm here for it. I love to see it. Competition is very healthy. So hell yeah.
Yeah. Also, as mentioned before, so that's a for C4. But this week in the WWE side, part of me is I can't believe people were as shocked as they were, because I called this months ago when it was clear this match was going to happen, when this triple threat was going to happen. This is definitely going to main event. They're not going to put Roman Reigns at the beginning of the card or in the middle of the card. It's not happening. Like I was at like I'm like they're putting like three of their three biggest stars in one match. There's no way it's not going to be an event. Like you like at some point you have to realize Triple H's and WWE's logic, and then everything starts making like you have to abandon hope for like the like traditional thing. Like he has a certain way of seeing things. Same thing with like the WWE title. You aren't going to see a random person win that. There's like 3 or 4 people that thing's going to be cycling around for a little bit because like there isn't like, especially when like Sami Zayn was talking about it when he was challenging Roman, is like I thought I knew the upper echelon and then I was like wrestling them. I'm like, oh, there's another level of this.
Yeah,
and it's a whole other stratosphere. Like I get it. It sucks that the Royal, like it makes no sense that the Royal Rumble winners who say is the main event are not main eventing either show.
Yeah,
but like I'm not even remotely sorry. I saw this coming a mile away.
Yeah, like they kind of do it to themselves in that sense, where like you say, oh yeah, the winner's going to main event Royal Rumble. Okay, well now one of the night, so
Yeah.
that limits what you're going to do because you can't tell me that Cody Cena shouldn't be main eventing.
Yeah, that's main eventing the second night. So night 1 is Roman and them, and night 2 is going to be Cena Cody.
And then you look at it, I mean, why are one of the women's matches not main eventing?
Yeah.
Why is Punk getting his main event through a favor? Like
it wasn't. That's the thing. The SmackDown closed, and he said that's not even the favor.
Yeah.
As SmackDown went off the air, so he's got another favor. So like, I think Roman wanted it to be the favors. I guess the storyline to get it out of the way. Like I did this for you. I put it in the contract that it's going to be the main event. But I love that. Like weirdly, it's actually consistent with the character. But Seth hates Punk so much that he doesn't want to main event because it would make Punk main event. Like he explained, like I want a main event. Like it's a huge honor, but I don't want you to have that honor. Like that's how much you hate him. Like that's consistent to your character. I like that you hate somebody so much that you would hurt yourself.
I need Rollins to reach that same like level of hatred towards Punk that Hangman had towards Swerve. Yeah. And then I'll be very content with
burn each other's houses down.
Yes. Stab each other with needles in the cheek.
Yeah. Oh man.
Choke him with barbed wire. Yep. Drink his blood. Let's see hatred. Come on, Seth.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah. Like for me, it makes sense at the end of the day, because like again, you have to understand this is Roman's world at this point. Mm-hmm. He's going to main event whenever, with or without the title. Like he's their biggest draw. So like it's like with Silly and Spencer in the chat mentioning Jay versus Gunther has to open night 1, which I wouldn't be surprised because Jay has to win that match, especially now that you call him main event Jey Uso and he doesn't main event. He wins the match where you're supposed to main event and he doesn't main event. And like on top of that, he's got the thing where he hasn't beaten Gunther. And like you make the people who like are fans of his and defending him, which I like Jey Uso. There's a reason why he's in that position, and that's because he's one of the most over stars in the company. Like even before, like he's just a catchphrase in it, like an entrance. Like he was over before that catchphrase and entrance. Like you're ignoring it. Like that whole run in the pandemic and forward, he was doing great character work with Roman. And like a lot of that bloodline stuff, like Sammy and Roman get a lot of credit for it. Like he was there, like he was also one of the breakout stars of that. So, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, he's definitely like, look at where he was even like 5 years ago and the spot he's in now, even just with fan engagement. And like, why shouldn't he get that opportunity? He's obviously proved it. So I mean, by all means, like he's worked hard, he's put in the time, put in the effort. So like I think he should be rewarded, like he deserves it at this point.
Yeah. And like he has to win or like a lot of people, like it would kill him. It would like legitimately, this is like his 4th big like chance at a title. and he comes up short, and you still want him to be a believable challenger.
Mhm.
Like it would take all the momentum behind him and kill him. Like
yeah, like
like
I want to say like Ophelia makes like in
yeah,
the
I was about to say
chat, you
that.
know, like don't bill it as a main event title shot. Just say they're getting a title shot at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You know, I think that would definitely help out.
But like the women's one, like I would say the Charlotte Tiffany matches didn't have the build around it. Like I would rather see, like I think that the Jade Cargill, uh, like sorry, not Jade Cargill, the Bianca Belair potential triple threat with Rhea Ripley is better positioned to would have the main event slot. I think they had the better story behind it and the more momentum behind it, and arguably like two of the bigger, like they're just like two of the bigger stars right now. Like, and I just don't think, especially after like not this week, but the week before the promo, the face off between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte. Like you saw the weaker part of her game, of Tiffany Stratton's game, who just like she hasn't figured out her baby how to do a promo as a baby face character. Like she's still kind of like that heel character.
They've and the fact that they like with Charlotte always putting her in these positions too.
Yeah.
Like it almost, to me, the feud seems very forced.
Yeah.
So it's like Tiffany's put in a position where she's uncomfortable, like more as the face. She would be better suited in a heel role. But there's no way you can do Charlotte as a face because they've tried and they've failed every time because nobody wants to cheer her. So it's a no-win situation. Like I'm sure that they will have a fantastic match, but like they're gonna have to work uphill just with the builds and how like lackluster it's been.
Yeah, like that's what sucks. Like that should have been up there as a potential main event, and just the build has been flat for it, and like it just hasn't worked like it probably should have. So like it makes sense to me that what the reason that like I honestly think that other match, like the other women's match, even though it wasn't a Royal Rumble winner, had a better chance of being a main eventer. It's like I'm more interested in that one. Like you have three like massive stars who are gonna have an amazing match, but like it's just like the bill wasn't behind it this year, which sucks. And
it's suffering from just the booking, you know, like
yeah,
it's just too bad.
Listen, I get like why they are trying to put be star power heavy and like star power forward by putting their main events, because the other like big story, which is like I'm happy people are finally get tired of it, is the insane prices they have been charging for their official Mania. It's gotten out of hand. Like I really would somebody at like one of the press conferences when like Triple H is gloating about the gate, being like, yeah, it's so out of hand, especially in a economy which is going to be in a lot of trouble in the next few months for a multitude of reasons in both our countries. Like you're asking people to pay that much money to go to a wrestling show, and like it's starting to become unreasonable. Like when you could play, when you're paying $600 to meet both Usos, it's a little much.
It must be nice to have that kind of disposable income that you can drop $500 to go meet Damian Priest. And it's like,
yeah, I honestly, like I was mentioning that last week, like the people who like buy those insane, like you get second row at the Hall of Fame and meet Triple H like for like 10 grand, for like 10, 11 grand. They should be named like a lottery winner. I should know who they are at shows. Like I'm generally interested who has like which wrestling fans are either has a disposable income or is that terrible with money.
Did you ever see that TikTok? It's of like a mom and son, and the camera's on the son, and she's like, "So you've got $23.65," and the son's like, "Not for long. I make poor financial decisions."
Yeah,
the kid's like 8 years old.
I think about this all the time, and like I tweet it, and like it's funny because like all the wrestlers like agreed with my take, but there was a "Are you the asshole?" that was I saw on Twitter. It was a wrestling fan. I just can't remember if it was the wife who entered it or the husband, But basically, the husband was like a massive wrestling fan. I think it was the wife because I think she like makes fun of how unathletic he is and the fact he's super old. But like he's got like a wife and kids, and he's like a massive wrestling fan. It's like he buys all the title belts and all the stuff. And then he's just like he came home one day and he's like he just out of nowhere quit his job and he's like I'm going to become an independent wrestler and I want to focus on it full time. And like she's like he's 45 and he's not in the best shape.
Oh
like,
no.
Yeah, exactly. That was I'm like, motherfucker, every independent like how irresponsible of you to when you're your family's main earner to like out of nowhere without consulting your wife walk away from your job that's paying your bills. And like when when he was confronted by it, they're like, oh no, we're just buying no name stuff. Just the most selfish human being on planet Earth. And like not knowing that every independent wrestler has a side job because it's so expensive to do.
I know they're probably not watching, but I can't wait to go upstairs and then tell Mrs. Grainmaker that I'm going to quit to become a independent wrestler full time.
Oh, so Blair's dead. May Blair rest in the most peace.
Yes. So this past weekend was the last episode of For Exposure, as Blair is now.
It's gonna be. For Exposure is gonna be open with me singing "In the Arms of the Angels."
It's gonna start off with you singing "Candle in the Wind."
Yeah.
The tickets for WrestleMania are so expensive, but AEW has done a great job with having affordable tickets for all.
100%.
Like especially for like the same quality seats.
Yeah,
like
I fully agree. It was like when they're in Montreal, it was way cheaper to go to AEW than WWE. And even like that's the thing, like WrestleMania weeks become more about the independents that are surrounded. Like you can have for like half the price of a meet and greet, you can go to all the GCW shows. Like you can get the pass to all those GCW shows, and that's just like an insane amount of talent you're seeing. You're seeing DDT talent, Joshi Pro talent. Like you will
see my favorite cowboy, the Rhinestone Cowboy, Stephen
Crow. That was a huge announcement.
Effie's Big Gay Brunch this weekend, or not this weekend, this WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's not to love? You know, there's an incredible amount of like Canadian wrestling talent that's making their way down WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
Like WrestleCore is putting on a show there. Dusk is putting on a show down there. It's great to see like all these different promotions are like putting themselves out there. And like some of the cards are going to be fantastic. Like seeing Zack Sabre Jr. and Artemis Spencer at WrestleCore. Like what's not to love? Yeah. So
like that like Bloodsport match, you're getting WWE talent, TNA talent, and like some of the best on the independents just throwing hands. Like I am intrigued by that Natalya match. I know like she's probably gonna go submission heavy, but like I would like to see Natalya throw some hands. Like just try to hit a haymaker there.
Just swinging for the fences like fucking Dawn Fry back in the Pride days.
Yeah. Just she's fighting Miyu, right?
Yamashita.
Yeah. That's gonna be a fun match. Like she wanted that match. I'm happy they're letting it. Like it is insane that like Bloodsport is like the one show that's able to book every like promotions talent. Like Josh Barnett just has that ability.
Like it's a little weaker on like AEW.
AEW is very like restrictive on their stars and stuff during Mania weekend.
You would see before usually Marina Shafir.
Yeah.
But I don't think that she's announced for this one. But it's funny that like the collective sort of started up as like an alternative to the WrestleMania weekend, like giving fans other options. And now like you're seeing the WWE influence on some of those shows, like at Bloodsport and things. So it's
you've also got the WWID show.
Yeah, on the Wednesday.
Yeah. Which that's not part of the collective, right? That's his own. staying on the WQB network or the?
I think they're kind of doing it a little bit separate, but it's like I think it's like
GCW was branded with it, I think.
Yes, same with
Yeah.
Stars of Wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah. So because of WrestleMania weekend, I think even Collision, they're moving it from Saturday to Thursday. So you'll get Dynamite on the Wednesday, Collision on the Thursday. And I wonder if they end up turning that like into a full-time thing down the road.
Yeah. It's a little easier on you than it is on me, but like that last show on like the Friday and Saturday, I'm pretty sure started like 3 a.m. here. Like at least of the collective shows, like they start at like midnight their time.
Yeah.
So it's like 3 a.m. here.
Yeah.
So like 1 a.m. for you?
I'm Central Time. We're an hour behind you.
Okay, so 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So sugar on 2 a.m. Like, which is still rough. Like those weekends, like I took those days off work because like I wanted to watch everything like live as much as possible, so I can like talk about it all weekend. I would like even be crazy enough to stream one of those 3 a.m. shows.
I can't do it. Like after that weekend, I'm exhausted from wrestling because there's just so much. And I know like the WrestleMania weekend, it's Easter weekend, so it's the 19th. Yeah. So it's kind of nice, like Good Friday. I'll be off all day. I'm gonna watch wrestling, like perfect. But the next 3-4 exposure shows that I do with my good friend Pluggo here on Love Wrestling, we will be previewing WrestleMania weekend stuff. It's going to be very heavy just so we can get all of the shows in there. So the 5th, 12th, and then the 19th are all going to be very collective heavy. So if you want a preview show, that's where you got to find it.
I'm very excited about the collective every year. Like it's one of like my favorite weekend of shows. Like I think, like, what was it say? I still think canonically in my own head that I set out the domino effect of having a Denis Saint-Hubert, the French Canadian fighting chicken, inside Joey Janela's Clusterfuck Forever. Like facing off against like wrestling legends and like all the independent wrestlers at like 2 a.m. facing off this giant inflatable fighting chicken solely because I dressed as the Easter Bunny and I think I gave Speedball Mike Bailey the idea in his head.
Dude, there's a seniors battle royal at
I'm excited for that.
At the Janela's spring break.
The youngest person is 55.
Yeah, like Warlord is in it. So if you need that fix of the powers of pain, hey, Warlord's going to be in there. He's going to be doing something. I hope he comes out with his staff with the big W on it.
Oh God, like I love Joey Janela's just insane booking.
Oh yeah. Some of the other guys are ones that you've seen. Regular like George South, Mike Jackson, but like having Warlord in there, it's like fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Did you end up seeing Dynamite this past week?
I watched part of it. Like I was just able to watch clips because I fell asleep. But like I enjoyed, like I enjoyed the reaction to people seeing Speedball in shoes for the first time. And him delivering like his first promo was nice because, like, full disclosure, like I've had discussion with like him and other people. Like the one thing he's not 100% confident is like his promos. Like he didn't do that many as much as he should. But he's like the thing is with people, he's very very funny.
Yes.
Like I literally like I told him after the show and when we were in Toronto for GCW, the last year, for the Money in the Bank weekend. Like I told him, like, man, his promo was so funny because he was like cutting a promo as he was beating up what's his face, Kerry Morton. Mm-hmm. He's like, no one likes your 1980s promos that you cut all the time for 20 minutes before a match as he's beating him up.
The promo he did with Omega, like just because Omega can be very dry too on the mic.
Yeah.
Like, that I thought it was perfect. Just their short little like 30 seconds they had before Ricochet ended up there. Like I loved it. I thought the show as a whole was very entertaining. I was 100% into it.
Like I'm very happy to see like AEW starting to pick things up again. Mm-hmm. Like them also announcing that they're signing Kevin Knight, who somebody WWE is interested in, was another big signing. Like you seeing this forward momentum recently with AEW, which is like exciting to see, especially going into Dynasty. Like that triple threat match is almost like a guaranteed 5-star match.
Yeah, 100%. And
Like,
the build that they've done, even like elevating Swerve, you know, like,
oh yeah,
I say elevating Swerve, but it's like, how much can you elevate a guy who's already a superstar? But like, they still find a way to like make him look incredible every time. Dude is fantastic. So like that promo he cut, like that whole thing, like I loved it. I thought it was a great show. Having the because they had the women main eventing again, if I'm not mistaken, because that was 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And then they main evented on Collision last night too, Jamie Hayter and Billy Stark. So it's nice that they're getting more opportunity, and like it just the show's been chugging along really nicely. It's picking up steam, and it's nice to see. Great venues that they've picked out too.
Yeah.
Like a little bit smaller, so it's more filled, and like the visuals of it help make it stand out really well.
Yeah, like I honestly like, especially last time, it's just because like I think they did it. They like wanted to do show so last minute. Like I felt AEW would have been better if they'd done the show in Place Belle and Laval in the smaller venue. It's like about less than half, a little more than half the size of the Bell Center, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But like still a good venue, and like I felt they should have run it there. Like I hopefully next time if they come back to Montreal, I'd like to see that. But yeah, like the build for this has been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Ricochet legitimately taking time out of his wedding to cut a promo to Speedball and Kenny Omega.
Yep.
He was like, I'm like, man, he really got married that day. He literally just walked away from his wife, like, give me 5 minutes. I got to do something real quick. I got to go call Speedball a cornball.
Dude stepped away from his vows for a second, just to call Speedball a cornball.
to say his vows to Speedball and Omega.
I also like that they're doing more, you see, for the Owen tournament, that they're really going star heavy with it, which has been a complaint beforehand, you know, like that there's people in there that maybe, you know,
like it becomes sort of predictable who's going to win the like make to the finals or win it. Like I felt like everyone, like time Adam Cole, most people thought Adam Cole winning, same thing with like Britt Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one's a lot like having Mercedes Moné enter, as I found like really cool. Like there's a lot. Like I think like maybe Chris Statlander should win it, because like I think she's in line for a big win.
Mm-hmm.
But like they're like, it's one of those things where like anyone could win and you'd understand.
Yeah,
on the women's side.
With that, and then even with the men's one, like obviously with the winner getting a title shot, I think at All In, the Texas show, like right away kind of thinking like, okay, yeah, you know, you'd have Hangman and Swerve main eventing that, but it's like, but then why to only have a couple month reign for Swerve? Like, dude deserves a longer one, so maybe it'll be Hangman and, you know, Moxley or Osprey Moxley, or, you know, any Jay White could end up winning and go against Moxley. Like there's so many options, and that's only 3 of the guys. So like yeah, I love it.
AEW is not struggling for depth of talent.
No.
Anymore. Like they have so many people who can be legitimately main eventers and were main eventers in other companies. And like that can all reasonably carry a show and carry a big match, especially at like All In.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like they have a lot of people who can believably do it. It's like it's very much an embarrassment of riches. You want to see all those matches, that you just lifted off. Like, man, like even if like Swerve doesn't win at Dynasty, like there's so many people I want to see against Moxley. Also win it, like could also win it. Like Hangman would be like a great one to take it off from at All In Texas. But like if it's ends up being Swerve and let's say Moxley or like a rematch there, like they've done great. Go ahead. Or like Swerve and Hangman, where they would, seeing as it's Texas, they'd have to give each one of a gun at this point and just see what happens.
Like they've done a great job making the focus more that like everyone should be gunning for the heavyweight title, you know, like that's the be all end all. So like having those main event guys being like, I want to be champ, you know, so having Kenny or you know, MJF and all these other guys, Cope even being like, yeah, we want the title. Like they can kind of branch off to do their little side quests, like Cope is for the trios thing, but still like the main goal is the championship. So they've done a good job. reinforcing that that's what everyone should be gunning for.
Yeah, absolutely. Like granted, the like Death Rider storyline, a lot of people are kind of over it at this point and would like to see a new champion. That's why a lot of people are getting behind Swerve winning in a Dynasties, because like they just feel it's time, just because it's fully run out of steam and like no one quite knows what they're doing with it. But like Swerve winning would like refresh everything.
Yeah.
But again, like there's so many people who could be in that, who could be the one to take it off them. So like there's a lot there in AEW right now.
He's just such a star. Like he just oozes charisma and aura, and like I don't know what it is, but like I think he even said like he's going to do this for another like 5 years or so, and then he's done. And it's like, I want those 5 years to like, I want all the matches, I want all the incredible moments, like pack as much as you can into that, because when it's done, I don't want a single thing to be left like unturned when it comes to Swerve. Like just let him show out every time.
Yeah, like Swerve is definitely a person who has taken this chance in AEW and just ran with it. Like he definitely had something to prove and has proven it multiple times that he's definitely a main event talent there. And like somebody who's believably a main event talent, because like you said, he just uses star power that like, he belongs at the top of that card. So anytime they slot him in there, like it makes complete sense. So yeah, he should be the one challenging for that title.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's about going to do it for this week.
That was fun. It's been a while.
Yeah, I really like chatting with you, Blair, every week.
Me too, buddy.
Every week on. Especially talking independent wrestling. I don't get to talk about it as much.
I should stop by more just so we can chat about that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I did watch part of the GCW show last night.
How was it? Was it Microman? Was the Microman FE match?
Yeah, I didn't get to see it. I just saw the beginning with Jack Cartwheel and Dante Leon.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. So, I mean, I like that Dante's getting more opportunities, like doing GCW shows, because he's very talented. He's wrestled in Noah. He's also appeared on the Grainmaker Wrestling podcast. So if you want to go and check that out, it's aired last year. But just it's nice to see guys like getting more opportunities. So I got to watch the rest of it later today.
Yeah. Also, like I was talking to Dynasty, and they said they're heading down to Vegas. I don't think they have any matches booked, but like you also saw him dancing with Too Cold Scorpio last year, so you never know when Mikey Truth is popping up.
Exactly. So Mikey Truth
that was such an insane night, because like I'm like immediately was like, motherfucker, is that Mikey Truth? And like 6 other people was like, I think I saw Mikey Truth on GCW right now dancing with Too Cold Scorpio.
So hopefully,
like I would say like Mania week is a trip on its own, but like you start thinking you're hallucinating things, and you're just seeing people there. I'm like, oh my god, that is Mikey Truth. But yes, again, like C4, I had a great time this week. I'm happy I made that last minute decision. If you're ever in the like Ottawa region, check out a C4 show. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck. You're getting a lot of stars and a lot of talent. And like, I'm also very happy. My friend Christar, at this point, like I told her, absolutely absurd at this point. It's getting ridiculous. She has like 12 titles.
Yeah, I mean, just she's gonna be looking like Ultimo Dragon eventually with titles all draped all over her.
Yeah. Blair, where can they catch you this week? What's going on with Grainmaker and what's going on?
So just dropped a podcast with Stone Cold Steve Harvey. He's nearly a 2-decade vet in the North Carolinas, and dude is a lot of fun to talk to. Plus his gimmick is Steve Harvey, but Stone Cold. So
I'd assume as much. I'm like, those are two. Like if he finds out both those people exist, he'll be so bummed.
I'd like to have a catchphrase, because like, and that's the bottom line, because the survey says like, come on, that's great. So that came out this upcoming week. I have a conversation with Kate Kroll, who directed the Lunatic, the Luna Vachon story. It's a documentary that aired at the Canadian Film Fest this past Saturday. It ended things. The documentary is incredible. When it comes out, like go out of your way to watch it. There's lots of like never seen before footage, and like there's some very interesting stuff that's talked about on there. It's, you know, it deals with mental health, deals with substance abuse. So like, you know, just so everyone's aware, but like some incredible conversations and really just learning what a genuine person, like Luna was such a sweet person. And like, I think this really shines a light on that. So,
Awesome.
episode with Kate Kroll coming out this week, and then every weekend with Pluggo doing For Exposure here on Love Wrestling.
Oh yeah, and you're like you just said, business picking up there with all these shows coming up around WrestleMania week. It's just an endless amount of independent wrestling happening in a very short period of time.
So much. So
like,
I was,
we're not like IWTV shows as well. They're going to be streaming.
Yeah.
Like it's literally nonstop. Like from all the promotions to independent. Like it's going to be a big weekend coming up in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm. There's so much, because I was even thinking like, yeah, the next 3 weeks are like going to be, you know, collective heavy. And then it's like, well, the weekend of the 19th should technically be the LPW preview show. So maybe it's only going to be 2 shows. So I got to figure it out. So yeah, there'll be a lot of previewing going on.
I'm very excited about that. As for me, you can catch me back here next Sunday on Brunch Gimmick. You can follow me at CartSandyG on all socials, on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Blair, thank you so much for hopping in.
Yeah, thanks for having me, buddy.
Chat. I want to thank the birthday boy Mike for hopping in and for hanging out with me at C4. Ophelia, Spencer, the boss man, for coming in, and Sandy all the way from Germany, who's been right in dead center and talking, watching all these European shows.
Oh yeah,
on his side of the world for once. And we will catch you back here this time next week. Have a good weekend, everybody. Be safe. We'll see you back here. Bye.